Welcome, seekers of understanding. Today we embark on a journey into the heart of history, not just to recount events, but to glean wisdom from one of the most expansive and impactful empires the world has ever known, the British Empire. Often romanticized for its grandeur, its legacy is deeply intertwined with colonialism, a force that reshaped the globe in profound and lasting ways. Let's explore this complex narrative with open minds and a desire to learn. From its early beginnings as a small island nation, Britain's ambition and maritime prowess propelled it onto the world stage. Through trade, exploration, and yes, conquest, the empire grew, spanning continents and encompassing a staggering diversity of cultures and peoples. Think of the vast territories from India to Africa, the Americas to Australia, each with its rich history, now under the Union Jack. This wasn't a passive expansion. It was a deliberate and often forceful assertion of power. To understand the why behind this colossal undertaking, we must confront the prevailing ideologies of the time. Concepts like the white man's burden, a paternalistic and ultimately racist notion, suggested a moral obligation to civilize and govern what were deemed lesser people. This belief system, though deeply flawed and self-serving, justified colonial rule, masking the underlying economic and strategic interests. It's a stark reminder of how powerful ideas, even harmful ones, can shape historical actions. How did a relatively small island nation maintain control over such vast territories? A sophisticated administrative system was developed, often relying on local elites willing to collaborate. Infrastructure like railways and communication networks was built primarily to facilitate the extraction of resources like cotton, rubber, minerals, and other raw materials, which fueled Britain's Industrial Revolution. This exploitation of resources and labor had a devastating impact on many colonized regions, disrupting existing economies and creating lasting inequalities. Beyond the economic exploitation, the human cost of colonialism was immense. Indigenous populations faced dispossession from their ancestral lands, forced labor, and the suppression of their cultures and traditions. Think of the impact on indigenous communities in Australia or the brutal realities of the transatlantic slave trade. A dark chapter that predates but became intertwined with the rise of the empire. These are not just historical facts, they are stories of profound suffering and resilience. The narrative of empire is not solely one of domination. Across the colonized world, movements for self-determination and independence began to take root and grow. Figures like Mahatma Gandhi in India, Nelson Mandela in South Africa, and countless others challenged the legitimacy of colonial rule through various forms of resistance, from peaceful protest to armed struggle. Their courage and unwavering commitment to freedom offer profound lessons in the power of the human spirit. The formal dismantling of the British Empire in the mid-20th century did not erase its impact. The borders drawn by colonial powers, often arbitrarily, continue to fuel conflicts in various regions. Economic disparities persist, with many former colonies still grappling with the long-term effects of resource extraction and unequal trade relationships. Understanding this historical context is crucial to comprehending the complexities of our world today. So, what wisdom can we glean from this complex history? Firstly, it underscores the dangers of unchecked power and the seductive nature of ideologies that dehumanize others. Secondly, it highlights the resilience and agency of those who were oppressed, reminding us that resistance against injustice is a fundamental human drive. Finally, it compels us to critically examine the legacies of the past and work towards a more equitable and just future. It's important to acknowledge the nuances within this historical period. Not all interactions were purely exploitative, and some infrastructure and institutions built during the colonial era had lasting positive impacts in certain areas. However, these should not overshadow the fundamental injustices and the overall negative impact of colonial rule on the vast majority of those subjected to it. History demands a balanced yet critical perspective. Engaging with the history of the British Empire and its role in colonialism requires honesty, empathy, and a commitment to understanding the perspectives of those who were most affected. By acknowledging the past, we can better navigate the present and work towards a future where the shadows of empire no longer cast such long and unequal footprints. Thank you for joining me on this journey of reflection. If you found this exploration insightful Please like, share, and subscribe for more content that seeks wisdom in the currents of history. What are your thoughts on the legacy of the British Empire? Share in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation.